Nation. Welcome to another episode of Carla's channel, Heart to Heart Inspiration Podcast. I am your host, CarlaJ, the Queen of Inspiration, and today I have a great guest for you all. I met this young man, and he is doing awesome things when I tell you. He is located in Las Vegas. Hey! And I have just been touched by his work, and let me introduce him for you all. His name is Solomon Yemane, and he goes by Thank You Solo on Instagram, and you can find him there and follow him as well. And he is an author plus a filmmaker. And you all, his book that he has out right now, it's going to have you asking yourself some questions like, am I really doing that? So, with no further ado, let me introduce you all to Solomon Yemane. Hey!
Up, Heart Nation? How's everybody doing out there? It's my pleasure to be.
Yes, yes. I am so happy to have you. We have been planning this for a while and finally able to get it done. Live. You are a master at going live. First of all, you go live all the time. So I'm the type of person, I'm like, I need a little bit more time. But you're like, let's just do it. Let's just do it. So thank you for encouraging me to get
Of
it
course,
done.
what I'm here to do.
Yes, yes. You do a great job. Solomon, I want to just open up the floor for you first to say, you have a book and it is, I love the book. I love it. Absolutely. It's on audiobook as well. But tell
Thank you.
us about your book, the title of it, where it can be found, and what inspired you to write it.
The book is called Soloism, and Soloism is a play on words because my name is Solo, and ism is the philosophy of solo. So it's a play on that, but it's also about solitude and how to function within that solitude. Not only function, but use that time away from the world, from the distractions, from everything going on around us, and focusing in on your goals and achieving your goals, accomplishing your dreams,
Mm,
and evolving spiritually, mentally, and even physically.
mm,
Solitude is not a punishment. Solitude is not, a rejection.
right.
Solitude is just time for you to be set apart so you can focus on yourself, so you can incubate and grow within the environment you're in.
I like that. To incubate and grow and really get that alone time. So that's what you're saying. Get that alone time to renew and refresh. I like that definition. So when you say, in the book, it talks about different traditions and things like that and spirituality, and we all have different definitions of that. But do you think you could be spiritual without following traditional expectations?
I think that traditional expectations limit your spirituality. It puts your spirituality in a box. These are the ways that ancestors from many, many years ago were able to access certain information, certain knowledge, and they're passing it down so that we can get closer to that knowledge, that information, and that experience of holiness. But nobody can give you holiness. Nobody can give you enlightenment. Enlightenment is
Mm,
something that you have to experience for yourself. So as you're walking throughout life, there's going to be situations that occur that are going to break you out of your normal pattern of thinking.
right.
That's the evolution that I'm talking about. If we go
Okay.
back into the traditional way of living and spirituality, it's all scripted. It's all
Mm,
written out. You already know you do this on the first month, on the first day of the month, you do the
mm-hmm.
communion, and then you do, but your heart doesn't necessarily open up during those moments. Your
Mm,
heart doesn't necessarily fill up during those moments. I think in life, when we're living through certain experiences that we go through, they may be even painful experiences,
mm,
but some of those painful experiences break us out of the patterns that we've built for ourselves and help us
right.
to evolve and to grow and to become a better version of ourselves. That is spirituality. not you becoming a stronger, more muscular person walking around. Like that's your physicality. But your
Right.
spirituality is you going through life and realizing, wow, I thought I knew everything, but there's so much I still don't know, and learning those things as you go. You know, we've
Yeah.
already accomplished so much with Christianity. We've already accomplished so much with Islam, with Buddhism.
Mm.
We've accomplished so much. But if we want to accomplish more, we've got to look back and say, okay, I'm grateful for where these ideologies have gotten me. I'm grateful for where these religions have gotten me. But if we're looking forward to the future, we may have to adopt some new patterns, some new ways of thinking. And yeah, not to say that we're deviating from the Most High, not to say that
Right.
we're deviating from holiness, but we're just gonna think about it in a new way.
Okay.
Yeah.
I like that. I like that, especially what you said about, doesn't mean we're deviating from that, and we can still grow. So many times, I think that people think it's all or none. This is
Yeah.
how it is. Your spirituality grows based on what your beliefs are, but also what you're open to your mind to. And just a quick example, I went to all girl Catholic high school, and the nuns there, they would say things like, well, maybe God is a she, maybe if you relate to a woman better, that works for you. And the feedback, the backlash, you know, um, but when I look back on it, I say, well, maybe you were hurt by some men or things like that, and maybe it's just your way of being able to relate better. Doesn't mean that I don't think God is a man or anything like that, but maybe it just helps when I pray to say she, you know,
Yeah.
um, and that helps me, my spirituality. So I think that opening up your spirituality can have different meanings.
Because, and to speak to that, one of the chapters in soloism is called divine masculinity and divine femininity. So
Hmm.
you have every right to call God a woman because God is just as much a man or a masculine energy as God is a feminine energy. So there's no monopoly of a gender when it comes to the creator of the universe.
Wow.
Just you don't get to just say, "Oh yeah, no, God is a man," or "No, God is a woman." It's like, well, it's divine masculine energy and divine feminine energy that manifest themselves in this physical realm. So you have every right to address your God as a woman or a she in that way. But I don't know. I don't know. I don't even think God is a man necessarily. God
Hmm.
is a spirit.
Yeah.
Spirits are not a gender. Just like me and you, we are spirits that live inside of a body,
Mm.
right? But our bodies will pass away one day.
Right.
Our spirits are forever. Our souls are eternal. So who's to say that my soul is a man or my soul is a woman or my soul is anything? My soul is just a spirit, right?
Wow.
So is yours. So my body is male, your body is female, but is that me or is that my body?
Mm.
You know,
Wow.
I am not my body. I'm just in my body.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying? So when you talk about spirit, it's difficult to put people into a box. And imagine that's people. Now imagine the creator. How can you
Mm.
put the creator in a box? You can't.
Wow. That's deep right there. Can't put the creator in a box. That's deep. I know some people are gonna be like, "What?" I can't wait to hear their responses on that one because I wanna open it up for the debate. You know.
I do too. I do too. Because there's also some things that I could say as well, and there's also, but I don't want to get offensive. I want to open up a debate. I want it to be where people can hear and respond, and we all talk, and it's funny. But I feel like if I get too into gender and I get too into spirituality and religion, it could be offensive. So
Right.
I'll keep it respectful and just answer the questions as they come.
Yeah, that's so true. I think that's half the problem today, honestly, is that we're getting too much into the gender. We're getting too involved to say, this or that about gender and things like that. And it just opens up so many personal debates that are disrespectful. I do believe that. And in the book, I really enjoyed the book because it also talks about trusting ourselves. If you could inspire someone on how they can learn to trust themselves, what would that look like?
I think trust is earned. Trust is something that you have to build within yourself. So if you do not keep your word to yourself, you're not gonna trust yourself. All right, I'm gonna
Mm,
wake up tomorrow at 8 a.m. and then 8 a.m. come around and then you don't get out of bed. Like that's something that you're creating now. It's a lack of trust and a lack of integrity. So once you start keeping those small promises to yourself, you can say, okay, I'm gonna drink 1 gallon of water a day. All
okay.
right, I'm gonna do 100 push-ups a day. I'm gonna read one page out of a book. You have to start by making small promises to yourself and then committing to those and completing those promises to yourself. Then you can start to trust yourself. And then other people can start to trust you too, because now you're building that consistency. You're building that, okay, when I say I'm going to do something, I know I'm going to do it. When I say I'm
Right.
going to do it, even if it, and it starts to get a little bit crazy because you might say something out of your mouth that might not even seem possible, but you know that you trust yourself and you trust God and you just have that confidence that you can
Mm-hmm.
do it. So you end up doing things that you never even thought was possible. But when you
Okay.
trust yourself, that's where I'm at. Like I literally have built so much trust in myself. I know I could do anything. But it's
Okay.
because I kept those little promises to myself, you know. And I think the biggest betrayal because it's when we're children. A lot of this stuff goes back to when we're kids.
Right.
When we're kids, people ask you, "What do you want to be when you grow up?" And we always have these big aspirations and dreams, and everybody always says like an astronaut or a firefighter, or they want to be
Mm-hmm.
like that's really cool. But somewhere along the line, I think we break that commitment that we had. We break that dream. We leave it behind, and we just say, you know what, I don't want to do that anymore. And it's like I don't know. I feel like that separates something in the human mind. Because
Mm-hmm.
for me, I never stopped dreaming. I always knew ever since I was a kid, I want to be a millionaire. I want to be successful. I want to write books. I want to write movies. And I never ever stopped. And I
Okay.
know that's the reason why I'm so confident in myself is because
Mm-hmm.
I've been working for 33 years to become the man that I am today. And I'm going to continue to work hard to be an even greater man tomorrow. And
Mm-hmm.
I trust that about myself because I've got a track record that I can look back at and see, yeah, I've done all of those things and I'm still and I'm gonna keep going. And I think that's what I would say is like just start with the little promises that
Mm-hmm.
you think are realistic and that you can accomplish. Once you accomplish those realistic goals, you can start to speak some amazing things into existence that you might not
Right.
even fully wrap your head around. But like I said, I feel like I want to write a movie that's even better than The Matrix. I want to write a movie that's even more impactful on a generation than The Matrix. Is that going to be possible? Of course it is, because I'm speaking it into existence right now. I believe in myself. I trust myself. And you know what I mean? Like, we're going to do what it takes to make it happen. So,
It
yeah,
starts with belief. It
yeah.
starts with belief.
It starts with you don't have to believe at first. It
Mm-hmm.
starts with committing to your word. Don't break your word.
Mm-hmm.
The word has to be bond. That's what it starts with. When you say something, keep that promise. Integrity.
Mm-hmm.
It starts with integrity because then when you say something, you just like sometimes what we say is not exactly what we're thinking. Sometimes we might just say something and we didn't even think about it. We just said it, you know?
Right.
And
Right.
it's because sometimes those ideas come from somewhere else. And
That's
so
true.
when you say something, man, I'm gonna do this. Somebody else might even hear you and be like, "What?" But they know that you know that you about that action. So when they hear, it, they're
Mm-hmm.
like, Okay, yeah, they believe you. That's where
Yeah.
the belief comes from. The belief comes from the trust.
Mm. I've had guests say that before. Actually, they said one of my guests said he was going to write a. He was in his cousin's group, and he said, "I'm going to write a film." And his cousins were like, "Well, we know you will do that, so we're going to hold you to it." So just like what you're saying,
Right,
and
right.
I like that. But you said something else that really struck me. You said you're trying to do these things that you said you were going to do. And the other day you had a post that said men, if they may, you got to help me with it, but you said men, if their life is not together, they're trying to live their dreams, that might impact their relationship ability or status. Tell me more
One,
about that.
I believe that if you want a woman in your life, you got to pursue a woman
Mm,
because women are emotional creatures. And if you pour in that emotion of love and give her that experience of love, that woman, there's no telling what she'll do for you. If you sit
mm,
down, listen to her, and you give her that deep, receptive energy and that love and that compassion and energy and that key, which is understanding a woman, if you can give her that, there's no telling how loyal she will be for you
mm-hmm.
as a man, for me. But in order to fulfill those requirements to have a woman and to really hold her and to keep her, you're not going to be able to like go build $1 million business
Mm,
and deeply listen to your wife and deeply like listen to her and understand where she's coming from. And unless you find a woman that is okay with having a certain amount of your time.
mm,
Anybody can have anything that they want in this life. I'm just speaking for the average man, the average situation, not the 1% situation where you find the perfect woman and the perfect man are having the perfect dream wife in life. Like, that's great. You can have that. I'm just saying, on an everyday, normal basis, the
right.
guys that don't have no money, the guys that don't have no businesses, the guys that don't have no nothing, they have the time to listen to your woman talk and listen to her speak and understand her and give her all of that emotion that she wants, even though you don't have $1 million, even though
Mm-hmm.
you don't have a car. So that's why it's like, why did she leave me for this bum? Why did she leave me for this
Oh.
guy who doesn't have nothing? He doesn't even have a car, and she left me. I pay all her bills. I do everything for her, and she's gonna leave me for this guy? Why? I'm telling you why. Because you
Mm,
need to pursue your woman with all of your heart. And if you can't do that, then she's gonna feel that. And she's
mm,
gonna go to where somebody really does love her and want to be with her and want to like give her that energy.
mm-hmm.
So it's not to say that you can't do anything. You can do anything you put your mind to. I'm just letting you know, realistically, if you want to build $1 million business, there's
Mm-hmm.
going to be some sacrifices that you have to make. And
Right.
that might be you might have to work late at night. You might have to, get home and get some rest right away. You can't talk throughout the night like you used to,
Right.
you know, because the same things that you do to catch a woman, that's the
Mm,
same thing you got to do to keep a woman. But once men catch her, they feel like now they can go pursue other things. And that's
mm-hmm.
where they mess up. That's where most of us mess up at.
I read something like that similar in Steve Harvey's book, and he was saying just what you are saying, it's hard to do those things. And sometimes we think people may think it's money related, but like you said, you could have all those things and giving them that, but if you are not giving that attention, listening, things like
Yep.
that. And you hear that, I actually hear that a lot, like on those shows, those reality shows where you work so much. You're never home. I need somebody to talk to. And the
And
man will
big old,
say, I'm not working.
yeah, they got a big old house. They got all the Louis Vuitton designer clothes. They got everything that they could dream of, want, and she's still not happy. And he's what's going on? I'm telling you what's going on. You got to treat
Right.
your woman like a woman. She's not a business partner.
Wow. That part. Okay.
No.
Treat her like a woman.
But yeah,
She's
we
not
lose
a
touch.
business.
Unless she is, and that is where I'm kind of wrong. Like, like I was saying, unless you can find a woman who does have that mentality, if she is your business partner,
Then
okay,
it's
well
different.
y'all probably gonna go nuts and win.
Right.
But if she's not your business partner and you're a businessman and you're trying to, have her as your wife, just know
Mm-hmm.
that you might run into some problems.
Well, that's wisdom right there. That's wisdom.
Yeah.
Uh, how do so you talked about how do we learn to trust ourselves, and that's follow through, right? We have to have follow
Damn, is
through.
my phone about to die?
Um, and then what happens when you start thinking for yourself and not letting society or traditions, dictate that for you? What happens when you start actually thinking for yourself?
Right. Give me one moment. For some reason, my phone charger is not working. I'm trying to plug my phone in right now, and I'm getting that little
Okay.
water. I'm getting that water warning on my phone. So let me figure this out real quick. I don't want my phone to die.
Okay.
When you plug your phone in and it says water detected.
Yep. Yep.
Yeah, I
And
don't know what's
sometimes
going.
I'm like, where did that even come from? I'm not even in no water or nothing.
It's 120 degrees outside right now. They're talking about water detected. Show me the water.
That's what it is because we're giving out good information, knowledge,
Mm-hmm.
enlightening, you know,
Yep.
that's exactly what it is.
It's always the case when we speaking positive. Then the Wi-Fi want to go out. You know.
And I'm going to, when we're done, I'm still going to be able to, condense this and send it out. So we'll
Okay.
still be able
Right.
to do that.
Okay, it's work. I just did the emergency override, so it should be fine.
Okay.
But to answer your question, when you start thinking for yourself, you may get a reaction from society, a negative reaction from society, because society is built upon dependency. It's built
Mm,
upon you need to go to work to get that paycheck so that you can come home and pay your bills. If you
mm-hmm,
don't go to work, you don't get your paycheck and you don't get to pay your bills. So now you know what I mean? Like you're
mm-hmm,
dependent on the job. And that's pretty much the heart of America. If you ask me, it's the same thing with relationships. We're supposed to be dependent on each other. Like if you leave me, then I can, please don't leave me. Like
mm,
the why does every relationship look like that? Why can't it just look like two healthy people deciding that this relationship no longer works and that they should go their separate ways? Is
mm.
that not love? Is that not respect? Is that not boundaries? That is. But they want it to look like I can't live without you, please. I'm gonna jump in front of the car. I'm gonna do everything.
Oh, right.
Like that. That's not love. That's just dependency. That's just control. So I think once you start thinking for yourself and you start like breaking away from those things, it calls into question what everybody else is doing. It almost makes them look bad. It almost makes
Mm.
them look bad because if you don't have a job and you're paying your rent, they're looking at you like, well, what you think you better than us? What? I said, well, like, you know what I'm saying? Or they'll tell you things like, hey, I'm gonna like you could tell them, hey, I'm gonna go start my own business,
Mm-hmm.
and they'll tell you, oh, be careful. It's hard out there right now. Most businesses, 90% of businesses fail in the first year.
Mm-hmm.
I wouldn't do that right now. Maybe I'll wait, get a few more dollars saved up. They're telling you that they're giving you the mindset of be dependent on the system, be dependent on the government, be dependent on whatever they're giving you so you can survive.
Well, that is
Right?
me. I am guilty of that. I do say that. I say save up your money. Make sure that you
Right.
got a, you can leap, but make sure you got a backup plan. I do say
Right.
that.
And that's wisdom in itself too. But also what I will say is that, there's quadrants. Have you ever heard of the cash flow quadrants?
No, not ringing a bell.
So have you heard of Rich Dad Poor Dad?
Yes. Yep.
So Robert Kiyosaki, he wrote Rich Dad Poor Dad. His second
Mm-hmm.
book is called The Cash Flow Quadrant. And the cash flow
Okay.
is four lines, and one of them is a E, a B, a I, and a S. Long story
Mm.
short, you got the small business owners, you got the big business owners, you got the employees, and you got the investors. These
Okay.
are all the different types of businesses that or these are the different types of incomes that a human being can make. Either you're an employee, you own a small business, you own a big business, or you're an investor.
Okay.
So these are the only four ways. But he talks about how each one of those quadrants values something different in life.
Mm.
So the E quadrant, somebody who has a job, which is not to say it's good or bad, but if you're in that quadrant, you typically value security, right?
Okay.
And
Yes.
knowing that, like, okay, this is when my paycheck's gonna come. This is when I'm gonna have this amount of money. This is when I can pay my, like, the predictability of it, the
Mhm.
consistency of it, and the security of it,
That's
right?
me. Okay. Hmm.
So yeah, it's not to say that's anybody's, but there's another quadrant, right, which is like
Hmm.
that small business or the big business quadrant where they more so, I'd say that's the small business, they more so value creativity, right?
Hmm.
They might be like, I want to create a business and I want to sell jewelry or I want to sell, my eyelash thing. Like they're creative in their own way, so they want to express their creativity and make money, but they're not necessarily a corporation,
Right.
right? Then you got a corporation, and I'm not sure exactly what it is that they're supposed to value, but long story short, when you get to the investor, they value freedom,
Hmm.
right? And it may take more risk, right?
Right.
You might be
Right.
investing your money in things that may not bear a return,
Right.
but like
Right
they say,
away.
no risk, no reward, right?
That's
So
so
you,
true.
yeah,
Because
so
people, the people I have read about that are really successful, they have taken a lot of risk, and I'll
right,
be like, it couldn't be me. I couldn't.
exactly. Because
It
guess
is
what?
different. Yeah.
In those stories, those people will be homeless
Yes.
sometimes. Them people will be out on the streets. Like if you watch The Pursuit of Happiness, you see like Chris Gardner and everything he went through, sleeping in the subway with his son. Like for some people, that is that's out of the question.
Right.
Not happening. I'm not sleeping in the subway. I'm not sleeping. You know what I'm saying? Like
Right.
not. But for me, I'm that kind of guy. I'm the
Mm.
guy who gonna sleep at the bus stop, sleep on the bench, just so I can save a couple $100, so I can invest in my own first 25 copies of my own book. Then I'm on the street selling my books till I get my money in, till I can get into a house. Now I'm in the house, I can
Right.
keep going. It's like no, it's not predictable. It's not even sane. It's like this guy lives in a dream. He don't live in reality. He
And
lives
when
in
you
a
said that,
whole
you
dream.
are smiling. You are smiling as you say that. I can see
Yeah.
that that is you. And
Yes.
when you're saying that, when I'm talking about it, I'm like, oh no, I can't do that. So I
I'm not
like
doing that.
how we're all different. We
Mhm.
all, value different things. And that's what you talk about, like in your book, like trusting yourself.
Yes.
What does, you don't have to follow tradition, your inner spirituality, your inner authority, is what guides you.
Right.
And I think, like you're saying, that is different for everybody. And it can be respectful. We can all respect each other's different beliefs, if you will.
Exactly. Our different desires, wants, values,
Hmm.
whatever we prioritize in our lives, yes, we should honor that in everybody's life. Because I don't know what you've been through. You could have gone through some things that make it so that you never want to be unstable again in your life,
Right.
and that is respectable. And I've been through something where it's like my family's not poor. My family's not like, you know, struggling at all. Honestly, I could probably be a normal person and just have a normal life. But for me, that's almost feels like it would drive me crazy because I'm so creative. I got so many big dreams. I gotta
Hmm.
go for it. Even if I lose, I just gotta try to win.
Yeah. I see the passion. I see it on you.
Yeah.
So, as we close up, tell us where we can find your book. If you could get a autographed copy, or what does that look like?
Yeah. Well, if you just DM me on Instagram, thank you, Solo. I can get you a signed copy. I can send you an autograph. Um, physical copy, audiobook, digital, whatever you want. Um, but yeah, just text me directly. I'm also on Amazon. If you guys want to order the book directly on Amazon, you can just search Soloism, SOLOISM, and you guys can find it there as well.
Okay. I love it. That sounds good. And I've read the book. It's a great book, and you also have it on audio book now as well. So congrats to you on that. And then filmmaking. Are you doing any? You have any new projects coming up?
I have a script that I'm writing currently. I've written a few scripts in the past. My script that I'm working on now is a romance. It's a love story set in
Mm,
Seattle. It's called Walking in the Rain,
okay.
and it's based on real life experiences, but it's gonna be something a little different, kind of like Jackie Brown or
Oh,
Love Jones
okay.
or Paid in Full. It's kind of like a mix between Love Jones and Paid in Full,
Okay.
like a
All
street
right.
version of a love story. Yeah,
Oh, I love it. I can't wait. I can't wait. It's
you're
gonna
probably
be
gonna love it. I'm gonna make it a book first, and then I'm gonna have you read the book and tell me what you think about the book, and then we're gonna shoot it.
all right, cool. I love it. We got to have you back on. And this time, we're going to meet in person in Vegas for the podcast. But it's raining out right now, y'all. So it's storming out right now by me. So in Vegas. So
Right. I'm seeing that. Yeah, right now it's looking a little cloudy.
yeah, yeah, it's storming over here for a change. That's not usual in Vegas, but I want
Right.
to thank you again for coming on. And Instagram, they can find you at Thank You Solo. I did put it in the comments. They can also get an autographed copy of your book or just talk to you. You go live almost every day, and you give good questions out. On your Instagram. I love the questions that you ask, and your
Like,
book is awesome. Talking about soloism, finding that place for you, reflecting inward. So we appreciate that. And just leave us with some closing words.
closing words. I want to say that there are so many images going around right now. There are so many messages going around right now. And those narratives are specifically and intentionally designed to control your mind in the way that you think. The corporations, they want you to buy their products. The politicians, they want you to vote for them. Every commercial you see, they want your trust and your loyalty. But what I want to say to y'all is, what do you want the world to know about you? That's what I want to ask. Like, what do you want your message to be? If you could broadcast your message to the whole world and everybody hears what you have to say,
Mm,
what would that be? And
wow.
and if you don't know, that's why you should get the book Soloism, because it will give you that mindset to where you can sit down by yourself in a room and reflect and say, this is what I want to do with my life. It doesn't even just have to do with your words or your beliefs. It has more to do with your life. And so I just encourage everybody at some point to decide, what do you want your message to be? And then put it out.
Mm,
Put it out there, because there's so many messages and everybody's doing it. Everybody's trying to get the monopoly of your mind. But you got
mm-hmm.
to remember what you want, and you got to keep that at the forefront of your mind. And then when somebody tries to tell you something, you give them your message.
Yes, I love that. We got comments. Jerry says reflection is always important. We got some hearts from Ryan, and we got some likes from Sandra. So I think it resonates, and it will continue to resonate, and that's so powerful. What do you want out of all the things that we're being, and then inundated with? What is it that we want the world to know about us? What is our message? And then act upon it. So
Exactly.
those are words of wisdom. Thank you, Solo. Uh, Solomon Yemane. I love it. And we're going to have you back on again. And you all go ahead and get his book, DM him, and get your autographed copy, or just reach out to him. He loves talking, y'all. So go ahead and follow him on his social medias as
I
well.
know. I was hoping you had more questions. I was ready to keep going.
Oh, well, hey, what else you got? What else you got? I'm ready.
You gotta
Well,
ask
let me
me,
ask you.
ask away. I got time, but it's up to you. If you feel like it's time to wrap it up, it's all good. But
I
I
got
could do
one more
this all
question for
day.
you.
I
I
could
know
do
you can. I know.
this.
So, who has the greatest authority over the way you live your life?
Yeshua. His name
Oh,
is Yeshua, and a lot of people call him Jesus. But
hmm.
I have my own beliefs on that, and what I will say is that in the Middle East, I don't know if you guys are aware of this, that the word J wasn't in the alphabet, in the Hebrew alphabet. It still is not in the Hebrew alphabet. So
Oh,
the letter
okay.
J was not within the name Jesus. So his name couldn't have been Jesus 2,000 years ago. His birth
Hmm.
name was Yeshua, right? So
Okay.
we're referring to the same person, but he left us a book, and it gives us instructions on how to live our lives. And that's who has authority over my life. Like if he says jump, I'm going to ask how high. You know
Okay.
what I mean? But I always refer to myself as the one, and have you seen the Matrix movie?
Oh, of course. Yes.
Yeah. So I think the Matrix kind of gives you a very important outlook as well, or insight, because Neo, he's the one,
Hmm.
right? But he did not create the Matrix, and he did not create everybody in the Matrix. He did not create humans. He did not create the machines. He is just the one who was chosen to change the system. He's just the one that was chosen to actually bring down, the agents and all of that. So
Hmm.
I relate to that as well. And a
Okay.
lot of that movie talks about the power of choice and how we always have the choice to continue fighting. We always have the choice to get back up when we're knocked down. We always
Mm.
have the choice to love. We always have that choice. So when you talk about authority, you have to recognize that there's always a choice, right?
Okay.
Yes, we've been given laws and we've been given commandments that we must obey, but we always have a choice, and that choice means that I am the authority, right? It all comes back to the Most High. I didn't create this world. I didn't create this universe. I didn't create anybody in it. I don't even
Hmm.
have no kids. But I feel as if I'm the one who will change the way people think, change the way that they feel, and the perspective and the paradigm on this planet. So I am the authority, but my source is the Most High Yeshua.
I like that because we do have a choice. God gives us a choice. If you believe in God or higher being, there more than always is a choice. They give you a choice on what
Yeah,
to do and believe and things like that. So, but in the end, you make that decision. You have
yeah,
the authority to make that decision. So,
right.
okay,
Then
I can
we
see
got to
that.
realize that we have to pay for our decisions, though, too,
Mm,
right? Like the police have authority over our bodies, so they don't have authority over our souls, but they have authority over our body. So if I decide and choose to break the law, now I have to pay for that, right?
okay.
There's a consequence for that. So
Mm-hmm.
while I do have the authority to choose, there's also a consequence that comes with that. So, or a reward that comes with that. It's important to understand that there's two sides of it, you know.
Mm.
So you may get rewarded for your decisions as well, but long story short, God is the one who's going to reward or punish you based on your choices. So it goes both ways.
Okay, I see that. I see that. When did you become, when did you have this enlightening over your, in your thinking, because you're a young man, and I don't know if you grew up in Las Vegas or not, but when did you start seeing this change within yourself or this enlightening period, this spirituality? maturity.
Yeah, there was no change. Honestly, I was born an old soul. My grandmother will tell you, like, I would ask her questions that would kind of spook her because she's like, how is he even thinking at this level? Because at a young age, it's like I had already been here before.
Mm.
But as I grew older, I wanted to be a kid. I wanted to have fun and play and do things that normal kids do. So I had to actually like become more immature so I could live my life as a kid and be a kid and experience my childhood. But now it's like I'm not a kid anymore, so I can just honor that part of myself that has always been awake, that part of myself that's
Okay.
always been conscious, that's just always been aware of what is going on. And yeah, it's interesting because Sophia Stewart, the author of The Matrix, she took me under her wing not too long ago, and it's about a year ago, and she told me that she remembers being, a couple months old, and she
Mm.
literally remembers her consciousness being in the room and existing in the room, but she's just a baby, but she doesn't even realize that she's a baby. And then
Wow.
her mom was like, it was a rainstorm, and her mom had given her a pillow or something, or a toy. And then years later, she asked her mom, like, "What was that toy that you gave me during the rainstorm?" And she's like, "What? Like, there's no way you could have remembered that, right?"
Mm.
So that kind of aligned with me, and it's like, yeah, like I understand that experience. It's like we're already born with this knowledge.
I hear some people say that too. I think you might be frozen. But I've heard some people say that that they remember things as a baby. The audience, do you all get that? Do you remember things from when you were a baby, or have you heard people say that before? I don't remember things from when I was a baby, so that calling is not on my life that I know of right now. But do you? You know, anybody in our audience? You know, have you ever had that? And it is storming by us, so I think he may be caught in the storm. I'm gonna put it in the chat. I'm gonna put it in the chat here. I don't remember anything from being from a baby. I remember things as a young girl, um, but I don't remember things as a baby. So if you all, I don't know if you all can see my comments on Instagram. I can't see my Instagram screen. So if you all can hear me on Instagram, let me know. Okay, Jerry says she's heard people say that. Okay. Uh, but I haven't. I mean, I haven't experienced it myself. Solomon, are you back with us? Let's see. Are you back with us? Okay.
I'm back. Devil's working hard, but we working harder.
Yes, yes. But I was saying that I've heard people say that they remember things as a baby. I haven't. I don't have that calling, that gift. But
Yeah.
I do know people who have said that, that they remember things like that. And I think it's a select few, a chosen
Right.
few, who have that gift.
Don't get me wrong, I don't remember being a baby neither, but I have that experience of my grandmother telling me at a young age that I knew things that I had no business knowing.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Wow.
What
Yeah.
was your favorite part of the book, or what was your favorite chapter?
My favorite part is about the gender part and women not being the women not feeling that they have to live a traditional life, that
Yeah.
everything is you know you're expected to do this because you're a woman, like that. And that was the thing that resonated with me the most, because I think that as when we get into relationships, or you want to be in a relationship, you think that, oh, it's my job to cook and clean, or it's his job to make more money than me, to take care of the household, things like that. And I think it's easy to get caught up. One of the things, this is really important to me, what you talked about in the book as well, submissiveness. And it was refreshing to me, if I remember the book right, your passages right, is that submission is not just a woman or man thing. You know, it is being aligned. First of all, if we are aligned with one another, then submission on whatever that is for you comes naturally. It's not something that you forced to do or that you have to do, in a derogatory sense, I
Yeah,
would
and I,
say.
I do think that is a derogatory word to a lot of women. Men don't see it the same way. Men see it as like honoring the natural order. That's how we see it, and that's kind of our feeling behind it. But I can see how a woman could feel like that's oppression, and that's you telling me what to do, and I'm an adult with autonomy just like you. So who are you to tell me what to do? And I could see that, but the word submission, if you look at the word sub, like a submarine, that means it goes underwater, right? Submission means it's under the mission. So, two people, if we're aligned and we have the same mission, then we can both serve under that mission, right? That's the submission. We're not submitting to each other. You're not submitting to me because I'm a man, and I'm submitting to you because you're a woman. We're submitting to the vision that we have. This is the dream that we want. This is where we're going. This is the mission. Everything else has to be under the mission and serve that mission, right? That's the true
Mm,
meaning of it. And if a woman doesn't align, if she is not aligned with your vision, if she's not aligned with your mission, then she's not going to get under it. you
okay.
know so if you want a woman to submit to you, your mission has to be aligned. She's not going to submit to you, she's going to submit to your vision, and
Mm,
whatever vision is and whatever your mission. So yeah, find somebody that has similar goals to you. Find somebody, and perhaps you're further along in those goals, so that she can respect and honor your input as not a superior, but as someone she could learn from and someone she could actually follow. Like,
mm-hmm.
that's what submission looks like in a healthy relationship, you know?
I
Or
love that.
or if she's further along in your mission, you can learn from her. It's the same way.
I love that. I really do. Because submitting to our vision, our mission, you know, and you see a lot of people, well, the people, sometimes I hear people, pop the balloon. I don't know if you watch Pop the Balloon, but
Yeah.
pop the balloon, you'll hear a lot of men saying, oh, I want a woman who wants to submit, who's going to submit to me. Are you submissive? And things like that. And it really just grinds my goat, really, because it's like, submit to you. What are you saying? I don't even know you first. It goes back to what you said before. Trust, and what you're trying to do in your own personal life. It's hard to it's hard, it may be hard to do that when I don't even know you. I can't trust you yet. You haven't proven that to me. I'm not just going to
Right.
blindly trust you. And I think in society today, and you may agree or not, that's fine. Put it out there. We're having a lively discussion. I believe in the Bible. I know what it says about submission and things like that. But I
Mhm.
also know that God gives women and men both, common sense and intuition and spirituality, intelligence, and things like that. So I don't want women just out there thinking they have to submit if they want a husband. What does submit mean? What is the vision? Where are we going before I'm
That's what.
just gonna say yes?
Yeah, you got to submit to the mission. That's how you choose a man, right? Where is he going? What is he doing? What is his vision? What is his mission? Like if you're not aligned with that, just because he look good, that don't mean nothing. You better stop playing with your life. You know,
Right.
get up under that mission. And also, that's going to protect you. God is going to protect you because you're serving the mission. So any mistakes that you might make out of arrogance, you're going to be punished for that. But any mistakes that you might make being submitted, you're gonna have grace, right? And also, if you're submitted under a man, if you really believe in God, I honestly believe that a man, I think it's, I don't even think it's in a man's nature to be violent to a submitted woman. Like, if a woman
Mm,
submits to you and you're still violent, like there's a demon in you. But when a woman submits, that woman has power over a man. If
mm,
she's just like, okay,
yeah.
you know what, you're right, and he's la 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 la, you know what, I'm sorry, you're right. That's going to blow his mind
Right.
because he's expecting you to come back, la 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 la, and then we're fighting, and then it's yelling that we're just one of us going to jail. But
Mm-hmm.
that's the power that a woman has, is to just be like, you know what, you might be right. But that's like the hardest thing to do for some reason. It's like the hardest thing to do because you gonna know you wrong. You gonna
Right.
know it, and I'm gonna show you know it. Instead of just being like, and men do this all the time. You know what, honey, you're right.
That's true. That
And if
that
a
yeah,
woman
you
could do
flipped
that,
it. Yeah.
yeah, women could do that, then you literally have power over a man in a way that you could only experience because he'll do anything for you.
Mm-hmm.
And it's just the same way I was talking about a man who can listen to a woman and receive her and really understand her. There's no telling what that woman would do for that man,
Right.
right? In ways, if a woman submits to her husband, he'll die for her. He'll literally go outside and die if he has to for his woman.
Yeah. But I like the part that you said violence is not a
My phone
part of that
died again.
equation. Violence is not a part of that
And it won't
equation. So,
charge.
yeah.
I
But
don't know. I
thank
think
you,
my phone is
Solo.
gonna go out.
Can you hear me? It is freezing again. Of course, that's because we're live. We're live. That's why it's freezing. But it's been a great discussion. And I want to thank everyone for joining. And I can hear the thunder and things on my side. So it's probably just, the weather doing it. But I want to thank you all for joining. I appreciate you all so much. And as we get ready to wrap up, I'm trying to see if Solo will be able to, let me see, uh, come back on because the weather is bad here. It is bad. So thank you so much, Jerry. And Heart Nation, we will talk with you soon. We appreciate you. Thanks, Heart Nation.